Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're currently here in the live chat. I appreciate it. So after last night's live video premiere, I'd say it's been quite wild. Probably one of the wildest videos yet, with all kinds of surprises. If you're not quite aware or didn't watch, feel free to check the video out after watching this. Link will be provided down below at the previous video, okay? And also shout out to the people in the chat last night. There was quite a few different names, some new people and also some fairly well-known people too, so that's all good. Betty Haywood as well showed up again, Stoney showed up, even the Shack Lady made a very late appearance later on, Ty Corbin made an appearance, Ellen Berg made an appearance. My god, you might as well fucking call the Montello posse group as turn up, man. Perfect. So that's all going well. And it also looks like another person has returned, okay? So maybe last night didn't quite show the presence, but they've definitely shown up today. Isn't that right, SpongeBob? Oh, sorry, not SpongeBob. What are you called? Soggy pants? Soggy, yellow, soggy... I don't know. I don't know, but, you know, must have been that phone call from yesterday. Must have summoned him. Yeah? My boy. He'll be out for a little bit, okay? So we shouldn't hear any whiny sounds, okay? And I think from yesterday, it's not so much whiny sounds, more screeches. I think, you know, the cat sanctuary must have broke loose, okay? I guess maybe some of the cages, some of the doors were left open, and it led to little scratches and clawing at times, but don't worry. It's fine. It's fine, you know. I didn't get scratched, so that's a big positive first of all. But, you know, I think for later today in this video, we need to take a look at some places of relaxation and all the kinds of stuff too, okay? I think it was Joseph or somebody else. Someone said I need to demonstrate a stripper pole. You try finding one, okay? Like, I'm not going to go in depth, but, you know, like, I've just dug myself. Why do I keep digging myself into a hole? My God. You try look for poles out and about. No, near main road. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll end up in the news all for the wrong reasons. No. Maybe someday might get lucky, something might pop up, show up, and then there you go. Maybe it's easy just putting a pole in the middle of the bed and just leave it like that. But then again, anyone viewed it for the first time, they'll think, oh, is that an OnlyFans setup? I mean, you know, it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, maps, okay? That's what we'll be taking a look at later, okay? Also, shout out to, I think it was Starchasm. Shout out to King Salmon, I think it was, once again, and definitely Ellenberg, okay? Ellenberg is delivering burgers left, right, and centre. Isn't that right, Ellenberger? I hope you can put some Ellen Iceberg letters on it as well. That'd be much appreciated. So, you know, the names are endless, okay? Just like me, war like meth, meth like ref, war like rough, war like dark, you know, all kinds of stuff. We'll even do a poll. I don't know if to do a poll right now, to be honest, simply just because there's probably not enough bloody categories. But then again, community post, you can only have 4. So I don't think it really matters wherever it goes unless you do it in like a voting system. Because this is the other thing. For future polls, okay, and this can be related to the Dylan Rounds case or another mystery, whatever. If you can only have 4 options, I guess what you can do is do 4 options and then the highest or the second highest as well voted go into the next selection poll, maybe. Or you do 2 separate polls, okay? Whoever's got the highest votes transitions into the 3rd and final poll. That could be quite useful because, you know, you're limited to how much you can fit in them, especially when it comes to, let's say, suspects within the Dylan Rounds case, okay? So, you know, speaking of the Dylan Rounds case, speaking of maps, you see where it's going. We're able to merge it into one. And today it's going to be a discussion, maybe a deep one, of questioning stuff, events and locations, using what I've learned or known of in recent time and applying it back into these certain spots, okay? Because whilst the land, the environment is very vast and open, there seems to be certain areas which stand out of course, which people always refer back to or return to in real life physically, okay? So I think that's what we're going to do shortly, very shortly. And we're also going to take a look at that blood situation within the shed, okay? There's arguably nothing groundbreaking new, but in terms of how it's been worded very recently, new, okay? So that makes sense. Speaking of the spell, and it's kind of damaged. You see it's like peeling away. I think it's just like, you know, it's even bent as well. It's like fixed into position. That's all the belt knows. It doesn't know anything else in life. All it knows is its purpose is to whip back and forth, okay? And, you know, there's one individual, yeah, I should be, and hopefully looking right at them right now, yeah? There's a certain somebody that said there is no imprint on me, that I am walking free. Is that so? No, I'm not talking about Betty. No, poor Betty has already been, you know, talked about with, talking about the headbands and all that, you know. Let Betty have a break, let her breathe, okay? Control eye movement, you know, just everything. Shh, okay? Not talking about her. Stoning? No, not even her. So who could it be? Who else is it? I don't even know the fucking username, so that sounds very clever. The backpack person with the tree. Yeah? Pack and go adventures or something. Pack and go. What about whip and go? Yeah? Don't worry. It'll be short. It won't take long. It's only short lasting. Don't worry. Yeah? See? Wasn't that bad. Was it backpack and go? Okay? You can continue with your adventures. Try and walk straight, okay? What's that, sorry? Oh, you needed a second one. Okay. That's the thing. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. You know, like, would I try this on Ellenberg? No. If you did, probably end up right round my neck. Wrapped round. No, not going to do that yet. So, right, let's put all that aside, okay? You get the idea of what's coming up. Maybe not to what depth. Let's transition on over. Oh, take in mind, I did check the Dylan Rounds Forum, Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page. There wasn't anything else new there. Looked back at that court case one, nothing additional there either. So that's kind of gone flat at the moment. Just wanted to add that in. Let's head on over to Google Earth now and look at these key locations within the Dylan Rounds case and some of the questions regarding it. Here we are. So interestingly, we start off from a different angle and perspective when looking here. So basically, what I want to talk about, and I think what we'll begin with first, is to do with the grain shed, also known as the pole shed or the pole barn, described by Ty Corbin, the blood situation, okay? Come down here. You see it, right? We're not directly focusing on the exact timing or connecting it with the phone pings as we've previously done that, right? If you want to check back, there will be, you know, guidance such as my playlist, which I've created. Now, I can't remember how many videos I've done on the Dylan Rounds case. Maybe 157, nearly 200. In between that range, I would say. I can add a correction later, but it is really surprising, you know, how much has been covered, right? And all the different possibilities. You look back to the Kenny Veach case, whilst that was quite limited in material, hardly anyone was covering it. So it meant you had more time and focus and, you know, all of it was passed on to you or you had to sink your teeth into it as a lone wolf. It's a little bit different here, but also it's efficient too, so that's good of people. Though, when it comes to, I guess, like material, Whilst in the Kenny Veach case, it was directly looking at footage by people recorded and checking if anything has been missed, looking over it just in case. You never know what you might find, which they didn't. Doesn't quite apply in the Dylan Rounds case, right? And I think one of the reasons for that is because with the Dylan Rounds case, whilst you're searching the area, okay, the videos tend to be more edited, right? Cut down. Anything of interest included in the video, all the other bits and bobs excluded, right? That might disappoint Missy Zavania, but don't worry, you can still have your bits and bobs. With Kenny Veach, he had raw, uncut videos which were like 1 hour long. And whilst it might or it may appear boring to some, it gave you a chance to understand where you are, what you're looking at, and what's around. The hiker, whoever it may be, is directly looking for a cave or a person. So anything else found in between might not be noticed or recognised because it's not in their mindset, or it's slightly hidden from the camera or from the person's eyes, where the camera detects it when looking back. With the Dylan Rounds case, you could say you're really looking for any clue. Dylan himself, bones, some buried items, right? People are more observant. People are more locked in at the range, the open possibility of stuff. So because of that, whatever of interest stands out is recorded, documented, and then it's like, from an external point of view, you can't really analyse or go over the footage because it technically already has been by the actual person out there. So that's the contrast with the Kenny Veach, Dylan Rounds case. Though with Dylan Rounds, there's alternatives and other areas to look at, which is a positive, okay? So you might wonder what all these markers are. Fair few would know the phone pings and alternative routes and ways back. We don't need to look at that too much at the moment. But as I said, grain shed, pole barn, okay? Blood found in there. Obviously, must be Dylan's, right? With blood being on one of the boots, probably occurred in the shed right at the same time. One point I just want to say right now, before we get into the methods, okay? Why were the boots taken off Dylan? What is the point of that, right? In the past, the way we looked at it was boots found behind the dirt mound burning pit over here, right? You see it on the ground. And that video, what I created back then, was before I heard about the biological matter, the blood being found in the shed. So we're kind of, jumping about with different thoughts and ideas. Could Dylan have ran across the field, or been forced to, or been chased across somehow? Or other people would say maybe he ran behind the mound for cover. But, with time and how Kenny's clearly worded it from the beginning and how it was reinforced with time, it's more so Dylan was taken out and, what do you call it, incapacitated? Well, like taken out on the spot inside. But, I'm just thinking, how should I word this? Well, we can get into that in a second. I'm just thinking of the methods, okay? I know someone in the last chat said you need to think about the methods used, and that's what I will do shortly. But do any of you know why, or your possible thoughts to why the boots were taken off Dylan? Like, what's the point? What is the point? Are you taking the boots off because you want them yourself? You think they look good? You like taking possessions, items from someone? I mean, when you get serial killers, sometimes, or maybe often, they take a little possession away. Maybe a necklace, a watch, some jewellery, a bit of clothing, right? It can happen. Whether it be a memento to keep hold of, or maybe to wear it yourself, maybe. What was Brenner's, motive? Why did Brenner have to take the boots off? That's my first question within this video. What was the purpose or point? And was it just Brenner that took the boots off? Was it somebody else there if someone else was present too? The reason why I'm putting that point across is if you're going to take the boots off, you might as well take the trousers off. You might as well take the top off. You might as well just take everything off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Very random comparison. Like Agent 47, Hitman, okay? In-game or in the films, maybe. Takes out a person, then changes clothes. So to, go in disguise. You don't see Agent 47 decide to take the trousers off, put them on, and then everything else is normal clothing. Doesn't quite make sense, does it? For most part of it, if you're gonna, have dodgy time in the bedroom, you're not gonna suddenly put on a suit and tie and then climb into bed, right? Maybe Wes does to try and confuse the mind, man. But you get the idea, okay? If you're gonna do something, you go all in, okay? God, that sounds really dodgy when you look back at that bedroom comparison thing. Oh no. Is there anything that I could think of on the spot, right? So, if you're Brenner, you picture Brenner taking Dylan out, let's say, and then what? Brenner's looking down at Dylan on the floor. Is Dylan 100% dead on the spot? Or is he still kind of half alive, maybe like choking on his blood, or, on the verge of dying, and he's just bleeding out, I know some people probably don't see that as appropriate, talking like that, but it's just trying to explain it, right? How it went on. You might wonder why. I can explain in a second. First of all, let's just do a poll, right? Do you think, however Dylan was taken out, was it a fatal blow / shot? Was it instant? Or was it a slow death? What do you think? Feel free to vote if you want to, okay? Now we lead on to explain, why do I bring that point up? When it comes to Brenner, right? Okay, he's known for shooting left, right and centre. Wow, bit wild, bit uncontrollable, bit loose, okay? Does anyone know? Maybe Ty Corbin, maybe Ellen, or someone that has maybe been in the presence of Brenner at some point for whatever reason. Or maybe just from knowledge within the area and what you've heard. Does anyone know what Brenner is like with his gun? Does he have a good aim, or is it quite bad? Okay? The reason why I say that is because if that was the method used on Dylan and he wasn't quite good aiming, I know it's probably point blank, but just imagine if Brenner shot at the leg or the shoulder or kind of like at the head, but it grazed off the side. It wasn't a clean shot. Then what? Dylan fell to the floor and it was a slow death. And then did Brenner get closer and then finish him off? Or could this explain the boot situation? Right? Yeah, I've not forgotten about that. The boot situation in which when Brenner went inside, took a shot, let's say, unexpectedly, maybe from behind the back. That's another possibility. It kind of grazed Dylan, or it hit Dylan in a not so fatal area, but he still fell to the ground. Brenner got close, maybe reached down or got on his knees, and then there was a tussle, some kind of scrap fight, and then the boots came off somehow. That could explain why they came off in the first place. The actual means of transporting them from here to the burning pit, you could say, is a little bit odd, but at the same time, there might have been a method behind moving them, just like how the phone was moved and disposed of, to try and get rid of evidence. Okay, there's a hierarchy. Some things are more important than others. Some things were hidden better than others, right? There is talk about that. But just the concept of moving items possessions of Dylan elsewhere kind of makes sense. But the original process of taking them away, some are a bit questionable. When it comes to the phone, that makes sense why you would get rid of it, to stop being tracked and traced, because, the phone, the apps on it, you want to get rid of it. You want to hide it. When it comes to the wallet, the card of Dylan's, which has not been found, that's not of much interest. It's not really going to, help people track and find Dylan. The card's on Dylan, so that's not a high priority. The boots, equally, on a high priority in terms of taking them away, right? Sure, the boots, the trousers, the top, the cap, let's say, they all are pieces of evidence and are directly associated with the event as they were on Dylan at the time. If they were found dumped somewhere in a box, it could reveal have DNA prints on, link Brenner directly to Dylan, just like that, boom, right? You don't need to take the clothes off a person who you've just killed. You can bury the person or dispose of them in other ways, and so with the clothes in the process, right? You've seen it where a suspect, just like in the films on TV, where the suspect may take off their clothing afterwards, dispose of it, clean it, destroy it, burn it, whatever, right? But not the victim. That's what I'm trying to understand. And the fact that only a part of clothing was taken away, not everything, is weird. Do you get what I'm saying? You can leave your thoughts down below to what you think. Is it too soon to do another poll? I'm just trying to think, how would you word the poll? Let me just try and word it first and then maybe add it on. Like, do you think there is a significance in the boots being pulled off? Is there a true reason behind it? Right, we'll do a very rough poll right now, okay? It is a rough one. So, yeah, I'll type it in as we go along, okay? And then you'll be able to vote. Right, so let me just zoom back in here, okay? So we discussed the boot situation, and it's one of those things where it has been talked about for some time. People have always referred back to it, okay? Back and forth. But the previous stage of taking them away from Dylan, but not the other parts of clothing, hasn't really been focused on as much, right? So someone like Ty Corbin, who may be present, or even Ellen, if she wishes to, can share their thoughts, and other people too, about why certain clothing was adjusted, okay? Right, so we'll refer back, and I'll mention it once again, because it is fairly an important point, and it seems to be agreed on by a fair few people, right? The actual method, right, of taking Dylan out. And I guess we can just use the photo whilst we're talking over this. Okay, I decided to just use both images of the grain shed from different times, right? The one on the right, pancakes, maybe 4 months ago now. The Justin Round one, maybe like a month or 2 ago, right? So you get the idea of relevancy of the pics, one daytime, one nighttime as well. The older one being on the right, the newer one being on the left. And we have analysed this, and we did look at it. There was like a brief spell where we did go quite deep on the left-hand photo, and so did the shack lady, so did pancakes. Originally, that talk of has new things been disturbed? There'd been a bigger mound, a bigger hole all of a sudden, but it was the shadowing, right? Kind of like an illusion, just like with the reptilian eye keyhole in the Kenny Veach case, right? Although some people are still fixated on it and haven't seen either perspective or side of it, but never mind. So first of all, in terms of the methods, in terms of the positioning, you would assume that Dylan was towards the bottom end of the grain shed, right? Because that's where the blood was found, right? Which way was Dylan standing? Did he have his back facing Brenner? Was Dylan looking at the back wall of the shed, looking at the bookshelf? Or was he turned around looking out of the grain shed whilst being, stood back? That's the first thing. And the reason why I say that is because, would you say Jim Brenner, is a coward? Is he? Yes, no. If you believe he is a coward, do you also think that he would have also hurt Dylan from behind? Okay. I know someone did leave a comment about that in the previous video. How would I give my thoughts? Well, if it's to do with losing control, snapping on the spot, probably more face-to-face, confrontational. Brenner has done it previously, right? So it's not the first time he's capable of doing it. Maybe it's with a person much younger than who he normally goes after or has an argument with, right? That's one thing. As for the method, tool, item used, well, the question I'd put to you, if anyone knows, Brenner and his guns, whatever gun it is, does Brenner walk around with a gun in his hand or gun holstered? Or does he keep his own gun in the trailer? I'm not talking about the guns that were passed on to Don or hidden in the past before that. Does Brenner actually walk around with a gun or not? Because if he did, he's already got something at his own disposal, right, to pull out, bang, on the spot. If it was Dylan's gun, then how would it have worked in the grain shed? Because Dylan's truck is parked at his farm. Dylan has come up to the grain shed in the grain truck, right? Unless, for some reason, the gun of Dylan's was taken out of the truck by him and put into the grain truck. That's the only other thing I can think of, right? But if that's not the case, then it seems unlikely that Brenner used Dylan's gun on him. You get what I'm saying, right? Because the only other way would be if Brenner went all the way down to the farm, for whatever reason, got the gun, came all the way back up to the shed, and then took Dylan out. And I just don't think that's practical or as believable. So really, it'd have to be Brenner who has the gun with him. And there's more chances of that than Dylan. Because Dylan supposedly didn't walk around with the gun on him. But he may have had his wallet on him most of the time. That was a comment made by somebody else, right? So hopefully you can picture it as we go along, explaining it. I've not really gone as deep like this before, okay? So, if it is to do with a gun, right? Brenner's stood there, whether it be face to face or facing the other way. Well, he just suddenly pulls the gun out and bang, like that, point blank. Gets Dylan, maybe in the head, falls to the floor, and, the blood seeps out. Has there been any indication, and this is the next question, has there been any indication of bullet holes found? I mean, look at that up there. You see those holes? I'm not saying they're bullet holes, but that's what you could be looking out for. Because if you're in an enclosed space, you may or may not have ricochet or just simply ballistics, right? It depends if there was a shot fired, first of all, and then secondly, where exactly on the body part. If it was the head, and Dylan's 5'10" or something, and Dylan was stood over here, which seems to be the case. Don't seem to be any bullet holes in the bookshelf, right? I'm just trying to get an idea of proportions with height and what's present around. There's that other thing, isn't there, where sometimes when you may shoot someone in the head, or on other occasions when people do it to themselves, the bullet can ricochet inside of the head and then come out a different end. So it might come in the front but pops out the side. So because of that ricochet, the force, the energy, the velocity, and I guess the type of round used, caliber and gun itself, that can all play a factor, right? You get what I'm saying? There might be a bit more depth to this than you think. I mean, crime scene, when you think of the blood here, you'd think, right, really focus and concentrate in this small little area. We're just going to hover about, okay? I mean, could it have been from the side? No, I've not really seen any holes from the side when I look myself. The only two holes that show are those two there, and you can see the light shining through, right? There's a thing, it looks like an old-ish building. It's going to wear and tear with time. You will get holes, you will get cracks and gaps, just like the gaps down here, right? But I'll ask you the question, okay? Not as a poll, just as a question. From your own observations with time, whether you looked at footage inside of the grain shed, or you just simply looked at photos, or you looked at my analysis, at any point, did you see any bullet holes within? Yes, no? Leave your thoughts, okay? We've got a big hole up there as well, right? Does seem quite high up. A few more holes there. You get the idea, right? You can't get too carried away with holes. You get a bit too, out of sync in a way. Look at Tyler Feller, right? I think it was, oh God, what's her name now? Is it Michelle? Not the current Michelle. Wait, who's that other person? No, it was called Michelle, wasn't it? No. It was Julie. Yeah, Julie, the person who's still missing in action. Okay? For any of the new viewers watching right now, do any of you know of Julie or seen Julie elsewhere? She's got blonde hair. She went very quiet all of a sudden. She is still a member on the channel, which is good of her. But, kind of weird. I mean, when you got the likes of, who else is it? Was it Rhonda or was it, who's that German person? Not Missy, the other German person who moved away from true crime because they wanted a break, but they didn't return back and they're no longer a member. That makes sense, right? Because you're not going to be active anymore. Kind of like cut ties with everything. But then Julie, not to cut ties, but to move away. It's kind of interesting, that situation. But nevertheless, the reason why it links here is Julie at the time was bringing up the point about Tyler Feller obsessing about Dylan's pickup truck at the farm, where they were looking at the back end of it and it looked like there was a bullet hole at the back, but that was where you supposedly insert a key or something to unlock the back. Something along that lines, right? It wasn't a bullet hole, but people got a bit too fixated on it, right? So like with this, you got all holes all over the place, doesn't mean to say they are bullet holes, okay? They've been created in other ways, naturally, I guess. But let me know with your own thoughts, right? Now, for any people that might start twisting the words or questioning me and saying, so what? So that means you're confirming that Dylan was shot? No, I'm not confirming that he's shot. I'm just suggesting that's a possibility and looking for potential markers, clues or hints that would suggest and reinforce that, okay? And speaking of reinforcing things and just bringing something back up with alliteration and repetition to make the point bold, when you've got, a gun in Brenner's presence, and one of them just happens to be missing, right? This is what's interesting if you think about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Originally, I was under the impression that Brenner passed on those guns to Don Haley before Dylan went missing. But if I'm correct in saying that wasn't the case, it was post Dylan's disappearance. Am I correct in saying that? It's only because things have switched and changed with time. I only heard it one way and then another, and then I didn't really hear much again after that. Probably didn't help when I was reading articles in the early stages. One of the first first few videos I made on the Dylan Rounds case was actually looking at an article by Heavy something, not Heavy D, but the website was called Heavy, and it gave 5 facts about the case, and one of them was to do with hiding storage of guns elsewhere and black powder stuff, right? So, what I'm saying is, the reason why it could be reinforced, this idea of a gun used in the case, just zoom out here, is with Brenner, right? If the other guns were sent off to be hidden by Don, then they were surrendered in afterwards and found, etc., why wasn't the silver pistol, that one key gun, that was not found? That was not with the stashed hidden pile at Don's. So supposedly Brenner didn't pass on that gun to Don. So where else has it gone? You know what I'm saying? That one gun, why is there more significance over that gun than all the others of Brenner's collection, right? I think I did a poll last video maybe about the possibility of the gun and the receipt, so we don't need to do that again, but from the actual results, majority of people did say there was a link, an association. So with that in mind, it kind of like makes sense. I believe that the receipt was before Dylan went missing. If it was after Dylan went missing, it wouldn't really link, but beforehand, it does link. You're getting ammunition. Are you prepping yourself? Like, this is the thing, we do get a bit of conflict, right, when we tie it in with the gun situation. If you just so happen to have a gun at the time, okay, it's already loaded or around in the chamber, you just fire it like that. That can be a snap decision. It wasn't planned, it was just on the spot. Though, if you actually source out ammunition before the disappearance for that gun you just so happen to use on the victim, you could say it's more planned, right? Don't you think? As for the Walmart, what's the nearest Walmart then? Is it worth taking a look at that? I don't want to get mixed up with that FedEx package. But that's FedEx. I mean, So what, like Brenner actually walked into Walmart and bought ammunition? Like, if he's known for stealing guns, then why does he go into a place to formally buy ammunition? Right? Is it just because it's harder just to randomly scavenge ammunition for the specific gun you use in firearm? Is that so? Just for you, like, you know, these little bitty questions, which, you know, But yeah, this silver pistol, which has not been found, which supposedly wasn't handed over to Don to hide either after the incident, the person going missing. Was it just buried in the ground just like that? I don't think it was left on Dylan. That wouldn't really make sense. I mean, how do I word this? I don't think it's possible, but is there any, like, even though it failed, could there have been a possible attempt of setting it up like a suicide? Is that even possible? I don't know if people will agree. Do we do it as a poll? I guess we can do it as a brief poll. The poll can be, do you think Brenner may have tried to make an attempt to make it seem like it was an accident or some kind of self-inflicted thing? So maybe the reason why you can't find the silver pistol is because it's buried with Dylan? No. I mean, I don't think we'll do a poll for that because on the spot I've literally debunked it, right? You see, this is what I mean. This is raw. This is on the spot. This is introspection with my own mind, right? So you kind of like figure it out as you go along at times. Like, even if it was or treated or like seen as a planned suicide, it just wouldn't work, because it's like, if it was a suicide then you wouldn't end up being buried in the ground afterwards. Then it does make it look suspicious and criminal. You can't shoot yourself and then bury yourself afterwards. It doesn't work like that. So scrap that idea, okay? So yeah, Brenner with a gun, can't find the gun, just happened to buy ammunition maybe for that specific firearm beforehand. People in the chat from previous videos possibly agree. Ty Cobbin possibly agrees. So, whilst the hunt for looking for Dylan is still out there, like, is there anyone trying to search for Brenner's firearms? Any others? I mean, speaking of the Brenner's burnt down trailer, there was supposedly a firearm found there of some sort, which we'll get to very shortly. Okay, so we'll just round off this area. Okay, let's just go back into the grain shed for a second. So ultimately, as for the method of taking Dylan out, whilst maybe Brenner has strangled people in the past, which he's done, I don't think it would have been the case here with Dylan due to the blood that was found on the ground, right? The only possible alternative would be if Brenner shot Dylan, it didn't quite kill him, so Brenner finished Dylan off whilst Dylan was on the ground and choked him out that way. That's really the only alternative, right? So, most likely a firearm. That's my opinion, okay? You may disagree. I mean, with it being a place where there's all kinds of tools about, okay, if you got like a hammer nearby or some kind of chisel or some kind of sharp object, maybe that could be used, right? What else? As for Brenner's horse, okay, where was Brenner's horse at the time when Dylan was in the grain shed? Because there is like straw or hay within the shed to the left-hand side, right? We saw it on the ground previously. Was the horse just roaming the fields, or was it inside of here? I'm not saying that the horse is a witness. You need to ask the horse. I'm not that stupid. Don't worry, I already did that myself when I was on that field that time. Some of you will know. But yeah, the horse doing whatever it's doing. You'd need space there, wouldn't you? Even if the horse was inside, you'd probably have to shoot the horse off if you're trying to park a vehicle inside. You don't want to run the horse over. So either Dylan's facing his back to Brenner or not. Maybe a gun's pulled out or a tool and then hit on the head, shot in the head, something like that. There's some people that are saying that it still needs further reinforcing or officially confirming about the blood. Who was it now? Was it not Tom? Harry? Is that correct? Harry? I was going to say Hairy Harry, but I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my mind. It's probably all the gorilla talk recently. Your head gets muddled at times. So Harry mentioned possibility that brain matter, from the brain, how it came out. I mean, just like random on the spot example when I think of it, which one was it? Or was it both at the same time? Like when you had Eric Harris, Dylan Klebold, 1999 Columbine in the library, when after they shot the people, they shot themselves in the head. I believe one used, I don't know if they used the same gun each or they used their own. I think Dylan had a Tech 9 and then Eric had a sawned off shotgun. And earlier on in the shooting, when Eric fired the shotgun point blank underneath a desk, the recoil shot back and broke his nose. So he could have been choking on his blood slightly or difficulty breathing. But when it came to the actual crime scene, if you want to call it that, and they were in the library on the floor, brain matter was found spread out and also dripping down on the bookshelf. He was worse off. Well, I guess both, because they both shot themselves in the head, right? Also, it's different to being shot, right? There's a difference, there's a difference between someone who shoots someone and someone that shoots themselves. But in terms of the actual, damage end results and the actual, visual look of it, it's kind of similar, right? But I believe Dylan Klebold was the one that, when he shot himself, one of the victims in the library, was he called Daniel? I can't remember. Could have been. Said he could hear someone choking on blood, so it could have been Dylan who was on the floor. Oh, and take in mind, when I keep saying Dylan, I don't mean Dylan Rounds. I'm talking about Dylan Klebold from Columbine. It's just unfortunate, the same names so it might sound a bit confusing. But then, someone was saying, like, did they do it at the same time, or did one person do it before the other? Because when it came to Eric, who was found on the floor, some of his brain matter was found on top of Dylan's leg. So Dylan would have had to shoot himself first to fall on the ground, and then Eric followed shortly afterwards. And it also talks about a table being set on fire nearby by a Molotov cocktail, which was kind of confusing and odd. But in terms of, if you type it in on Google, you'll be able to find it yourself. The splatter, how it's all spread about. As for the Dylan Rounds case, I mean, depending where Dylan was shot, if he was shot, I mean, could that tie in anything with the spring cleaning or not? Okay, let's just think about that for a second, right? What else would need to have been removed? Okay, I know we said we're going to move on to the burnt down trailer, but ultimately, what other possible evidence would have been moved from in here? And also, and we'll do a poll right now, what about Brenner's clothing? Never really talked about that on my channel. Does Brenner have a big wardrobe of clothing, or is he quite simplistic? What I'm getting onto is what happened to his clothing, what he wore on that day when Dylan went missing the 28th. And where did those clothes end up? Was the washing machine used in the area or not? Were the clothes put in bin bags or hidden inside of the grain shed? Then comes June 2nd, Brenner goes in just to bag the clothing and take it elsewhere. You think that's a possibility? It's weird, like, I acknowledge there might be a possibility people have already talked about this on other channels. They might have already gone into it, but I've never really questioned it on mine. Kind of interesting. It's weird. People say, oh, the case is done and finished, or the information is closed off now, there's no hope, there's nowhere to go, and yet look at this, we're still generating questions and ideas. And even I'm surprising myself with not thinking of this back then, but I am only now, right? Damn. Because, we talk about the clothing trend. Dylan, most likely, was still wearing the clothes, aside from the boots. Brenner wearing his own clothes at the time. Where did they end up? And I would do a poll, but honestly, I don't know if it could even fit in with the poll situation. But then again, taking in mind with how I worded it earlier on about process of elimination or choosing the highest voted possibilities, then following on with another poll, maybe we can do that. So maybe part one poll could be, does Brenner have a wide range of clothes or not? That could be the first poll. The second poll could be, what happened to Brenner's clothes? Yeah, I think that should be the first poll, to be honest. What do you think happened to Brenner's clothes on the 28th? Were they cleaned, washed? Were they disposed of, burnt? Leave your thoughts. Then the second poll can be, which I'll set up a bit later, if I remember, hopefully. If so, then do you think that the spring cleaning on June the 2nd, those bin bags contained Brenner's clothing? Okay. And if not, could it have been Dylan's clothing? Right? Ultimately, I don't know why you'd need to dispose of the clothing when you're disposing of the body. You might as well just keep it all together as one, right? It's not going to reveal too much. As for the whole chopping up process, I just don't think that would happen. Like, maybe a serial killer might, some kind of psychopath, but Brenner doesn't look like the type of person to chop people up, you know what I'm saying? Even Don Haley, I could be completely wrong, but yeah. I mean, that's the only other reason why it could be hard to find Dylan, if that ever was the case, which I don't think it is. Okay, I'll say that right now. I don't think Dylan was chopped up, but if for whatever reason that was the case and then he was disposed of separately, dumped here, dumped there, a little bit here, a little bit there, being spread out, right, with time and decomposition, like what we saw on that K9 website about if the bones are spread out, scavenged by animals, it makes it much harder to locate the person. We read that out, so that's any other possibility. But me personally, leaning more towards that the bags might have been filled with clothing, okay? Just want to know your thoughts on it, nevertheless, okay? So, we've got that in mind. I don't know if I mentioned it much before, but the methods of taking people out, or not taking people out, hurting people, right, and snapping at the same time with previous people, like that lawn chair smacked, kicked in the stomach, kicked in the head, quite, violent, you'd say, but not completely fatal. As for other shootings, from what I know of, not fatal, not like pure fatal, but people might have been seriously injured, right? And because of that, is there a pattern where Brenner isn't directly shooting at someone to kill them, but just to injure them? Other times, maybe as a warning shot. How it's been worded by others, I don't know if it was mentioned by Ty Corbin or somebody else. Brenner firing warning shots if you get too close to him. I assume, like, property, if you get too close there. You know what I'm saying? He might have a good aim, he might not. But in terms of past events, no one from what I know of has been killed, just seriously injured. So when it came to Brenner possibly taking it out on Dylan, was that a fatal shot or not? You see, that's what we're trying to establish, that pattern of behaviour. I mean, the whole process of disposing Dylan and who was involved there and then, that's a completely other deep thing to get into, but we don't have to here because we have done that previous. Okay, so I don't want to, as I said, apologies if I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I just want to try and look at the points I've not looked at and the questions I've not asked until now, or until I've just suddenly thought of. Okay, so is there anything else missing or not talked about here? The ground looking fairly compact and flat. The image on the left, I'll just ask it once again as a question, okay? Just for the people that are new to the channel, or the people who might have more knowledge that may have changed their opinions since, maybe, because there's no harm in checking back in on stuff. Remember this left-hand photo? This photo was taken, I said, like maybe a month or two ago. It was during the time of that coming up to winter, final big push of 2022, worded by Candice Cooley, okay, on maybe the final night. Was it a Friday? I'm not quite sure. Not to be confused with the Friday night 27th of May. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a couple of months ago, right, with Justin. What was the whole point of the photo taken here? Was it just a reflection, looking back on? Maybe it was just like a random thing, like what Candice Cooley did, where she posted a photo on the Dylan Brown's Facebook page of the land of Lucin, or the pivot, saying, oh yeah, and we're looking back at this place, it reminds me of Dylan, it's so eerie here. Justin did the same in his own little way, but it was more directed at Don. You know what I'm saying? And that's maybe where we start transitioning on to the next question and kind of countering maybe Joseph's point to an extent from his past comment, previous one. We'll get to that in a second. But yes, as what I said just before, the stuff what you see scattered about, which has been put to the side here because this is an older photo, all this pulled out, do you believe this is linked? We'll do a poll right now. Do you believe this is linked with the Heavy D interview, which happened maybe a month or two before that big push of winter or not? Do you have like any other thoughts? Okay. Has your opinion changed? Have you heard anything else since which may make you think differently? Okay. So just leave your points if you want to. I said I don't even know if I said it earlier on in the live chat. If you wish to share your own thoughts, opinions, and talk about other stuff as well, you can. Okay, that's welcome. So yeah, I think that kind of puts that in perspection. Perspection? That's the wrong word. In perspective. And we should move on now. So in terms of the comment made by Joseph, where it's kind of worded as, yeah, Brenner is the main one. Most of what's happened has happened. Now it's just a matter of finding, I guess, Dylan. They've already got the evidence they need early on. The likes of Kurt Wadsworth and Don may know something but aren't directly involved. That's, I guess, in summary, what Joseph said at the time. My response to that is, yeah, I kind of understand it, just like how I did yesterday. But for Justin Rounds to be so pissed off with Don Hately specifically, it makes you wonder, right? Let's just put it into perspective, right? Do you know what? Let's just use side-by-side comparison of photos to explain this, because it might hit a little bit harder. So just as a quick key, on the left, you got Kurt Wadsworth. On the right, you got Donald Hately, okay? I've used Don in some of my thumbnails. Some of you may have not been aware what Don looks like, but there you go, he's on the right, okay? And there seems to be a pattern, guys who are quite big in size and also have beards. Some people have said that Don is a biker, or was at some point. I mean, he's got his Harley Davidson, right? So that makes sense there. But what I'm trying to get to, okay, the main point is, with what Joseph said, these two knowing something but not participating enough, not getting on in there, right? Like when it came to Chase Venstra, I know there's suspicion around him still. People are, thinking, could he still play a part in some way? Maybe. He could have nipped in here into Lucin in between and then moved on later in the day, or much earlier on before 7, etc. But like, this is the thing, the way it's been worded, and you can counter it if you want, Candy's Cooley saying that trying to get Chase Venstra to hand himself in or to be questioned, offering that 5,000 reward money for, information leading to finding him, so then he can be taken in and questioned, I guess. And even at some point, Chase Venstra offering himself in, and the police didn't really want much to do with him. There was, kind of like a level of, you call it urgency, like, come on, let's get on with things. But with Kurt and Don, it's like, no, I'm not going to participate in a polygraph test like with Kurt. I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to search for Dylan, Don. And then some other people wording it in the comments saying Kurt was out there quite often searching. And it's kind of like, so kind of proactive, but not. Doing this, but not that. But before we go any further, why is it that time when Justin Rounds had a bit of a meltdown, he got a bit angry, okay? It kind of is it's understandable, first of all. He cooled down eventually. I don't know if that was because of the cool touch by Cooley or not, but it happened. But my point to you, Joseph, is if both Kurt and Don know something, then why did Justin specifically get angry with Don but not Kurt around that time of the big push, right? That's what I just want to say. If I'm correct in saying, I'm sure there was that argument maybe before that, I assume, before that with, who was it now? Kurt? Was it Don? And a person called Tom? Who's Tom? I'm sure I heard the word Tom. I thought it was, Justin. Maybe that was a different occasion. You see, these little events going in, and then the shovel incident too. But then from Justin, Justin worded himself when Justin was face to face with Don and the shovel. There's been some kind of arguments going on, right? Just in general. whether it be way back in the past in Montello, all kinds of things going on, or you want to fast forward it to recent time, there's always some kind of activity. It might not always be directed with Dylan's disappearance, but it goes on, right? One of those things, but there's been the odd altercation, right? Tensions running high, possibly, needing answers, wanting to find the truth. Justin so happens to have the sense that Don, Kurt know something. You want them to say it, and if they're not, then it kind of makes you more frustrated. But we'll do a poll right now, okay? Do you think Justin Rounds was or is more pissed off with Don than Kurt? That's how it seems to me. Or equal? What do you think? And then if we can follow it up with a second poll, I would say, do you think Don and Kurt know something but are hiding it? Or do you think they are hiding something because they're directly involved, right? Indirectly, but knowing something, directly being involved. One or the other option, okay? When it comes to these polls, it'll be worded much better and clearer, okay? So yeah, that's how they appear on the cover when you look at them here. You look at Kurt on the left with that little grin. Ugh. Maybe that little nervous laughter is being exhumed from the photo on the left right now. I don't know what Don's doing with his hand, that he might be holding on to something. But I do remember, if you want the relevancy, I guess, of these photos, well, both came from Zav Girl's thumbnails, because that's really the only way I was able to find the photos at the time. As for the true origins of it, the one on the left is from Salty Pancake's interview or something with Kurt Wadsworth in the very early days of the case. And then on the right, that was from one of Zav Girl's live streams when she had those documents up with the different photos of Don. But I don't know if at one point they were getting mixed up with Ed Harshberger as well. I don't know what Ed Harshberger looks like, to be fair. Wouldn't be surprised if he had a beard as well. Now, if Ty Corbin is here right now, feel free to answer this if you want. I did hear in one of the Shack Ladies' recent live streams that Ty Corbin did, in a way, have his suspicions about Ed Harshberger. Like, where were you? Like, what were you doing? I think Ty worded it as Ed Harshberger makes Kurt Wadsworth look like an amateur when it comes to doing dodgy stuff, I guess. When I was looking recently, though, at Quinton's timeline, it mentioned a point about Ed Harshberger and Dylan having a good relationship, getting on well. Ed really liked Dylan. Not in a gay way, just, respected him, I guess. Is that true? Do you agree with that, Ty? Because obviously when I heard what you said and what Quinton put in that timeline, there's a big contrast. Though, maybe to balance things out, within that timeline spreadsheet, there was an event, and I think it might have been in 2021, where it mentioned, because I'm just in it from memory, right, where Ed Harshberger got into a quite heated argument with Dylan, but it was unknown of what it was to do with. I mean, when it comes to arguments, it can happen, right? With anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere. It doesn't always lead to being killed afterwards. Sometimes, though, it does. Do you think that argument with Ed caused Dylan's disappearance or played some kind of tiny little factor later on down the line? Or maybe that argument itself didn't cause it, but it could have been reignited, occurred once more, but in 2022, right? Right. This is what I mean. I know there'll be like a range of different names out there, possible suspects, people of interest. I might have not covered everyone literally on my channel, but you got to take in mind with the information you've got, what you've heard of, even some stuff that may be rumours, but if there's a fair bit of it, or there's a bit of consistency in consensus with it, then you can kind of cover it. But when it's loose stuff, individual little bits of info or rumours of some of the other individuals like Ed Harshberger, it's kind of harder to cover a video on. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But yeah, Ed Harshberger, I believe, assisted with Brenner moving about, right? I mean, do any of you think Ed Harshberger is directly involved in Dylan's disappearance? Or do you think he just simply knows something but hasn't said anything? Or do you think he's completely innocent? We'll do that as a poll right now, okay? Apologies about the rapid polls. It's just because I'm just thinking of him bang, bang, like here and there, okay? If you want to vote, feel free to vote and we get an idea of what people are thinking, right? Because obviously opinions can change with time if they've been influenced with recent upcoming information, okay? So yeah, I think to round it back off with Joseph's point, Kurt, Don, more focus on Don maybe in terms of anger towards him by certain individuals like Justin. As for Candice Cooley, not focusing too much on Don, but then again, not really focusing too much on Kurt, not going after him as much as she's gone after the LE. I mean, God, this is kind of wild in a way. Candice Cooley has talked about the LE negatively much more than the likes of Kurt Wadsworth. Wow. And even Don Haley too, combined. So, that's one way of looking at it. I mean, she has talked about Brenner a lot. It kind of makes sense, but... I mean, the only point which I would acknowledge from Joseph and tying on with Candice Cooley is, if you know what you know from the beginning, and you know Brenner is the one, then you're really just simply going to focus on the one, Brenner, right? Though, if Brenner isn't talking, and he seems to be pinning the blame on the likes of Chase Venstra, you're going to be going around in circles. I don't think the LE have been proactive in trying to get Brenner to speak. They've not even tried since. So that doesn't help either. If someone could have made an attempt, tried to contact to begin with, maybe establish a rapport or try and, work around him, and then if it failed, then you can start looking elsewhere, but that hasn't even been put in place, so that really doesn't help. But I wouldn't blame people or someone for interrogating, questioning, or looking deeper into the likes of Kurt, Don, any other external person out there, because they might know something. They might not know the whole thing, the situation, but they might know the odd bit of info. But when with the reward money being increased, it's not led to any more frequencies in people reporting, even with false info. It seems like people are really tight-lipped, right? Either people are really tight-lipped or they simply don't know anything. That might be one extreme to another, that, as a generalisation, but that's just how it feels to me, okay? If you do want to disagree, feel free to do so in the comment section if you want to write up something and give your thoughts, okay? So I think we'll leave it there for now with these two individuals, and we'll move on to the next deep discussion. So back on the maps, we can zoom out, and we'll head to Montello. Just make sure we're facing the correct way first of all. That's always useful. Okay, there we go, down here. Also, speaking of which, returning back, pun intended, as for people who are members on this channel, a new emoji has been created, okay? I'll probably be able to show it on screen right now, shortly. There you go. So yeah, we've got the back emoji. As for origins, relevancy of it, that's a photo of my back, okay? I don't think Pancakes has seen this photo yet, he's seen the previous one where I was in a different position. Sorry, that sounds really gay, that. No, oh my God. It's where I had my arms out to the side, okay? And that's when Pancake said, oh, I can see all the information. And then I caught on and realised that, yeah, you think about it, with all the data, with all the points, information, spots, dots, tie it all together, it's like the map of Lucin, right? Each bump, each follicule resembles a rock, a patchiness within the ground, as you see scattered about. You know what I'm saying? Rough, just like my back. So yeah, you can use that new emoji if you want. And also, as for deeper origins of it, it's to highlight King Salmon, okay? In name of King Salmon, that photo. As for his recent support on the channel and consistency, that's like what we do here. If I had more space, more access to be able to create more emojis without the restrictions, I'd do a lot more, right? I'm just doing what I can at the moment in this time, right? So King Salmon, there you go. There's your own custom, I guess, TRT emoji badge, okay? So that aside, what was that? Oh, is that pancakes? Yeah. No more. Stop calling me that, right? Okay. So what's the deep focus talk here? Well, actually, it's like a 2-in-1 because it's nearby as well to Brenner's burnt down trailer. But first of all, let's just take a look at what I do want to say, first of all, is with all the events that have supposedly gone on, with it being described as like the wild, wild west, with people, locals nearby saying, well, it's actually not as bad as you think, and there are some nice people there, that probably is the case, but there's also, crime going on too here and there. So a bit of a balancing act. Maybe it's not quite balanced. Would you agree on that? Then, let's say crime has gone on, all kinds of stuff, quite serious, quite bad. We've seen it in articles too. It might not be everyone there, but there's a few people with time, okay? What I'm basing it down to, and also we take in mind that spreadsheet, what we looked at, even just from 2000 to 2021, there was a lot of different events, shootings, a recent shooting just before Dylan went missing a few days before it, which was still in question or talked about recently, I think, on the Shack Lady stream. Arguments, disputes, wives, ex-wives, defending, standing up to someone, supposed groups, vigilantes, people probably chased down, people appearing with no shoes on, just like all kinds of stuff, burglary, inappropriate stuff towards younger people, the list is endless, right? So when did Dylan go there? 2019, 2020, somewhere around that point, okay? So surely he would have seen, witnessed, or heard about the stuff going on in Montello, right? Before Dylan actually moved into the Placey area, obviously, and I guess Candice Cooley wasn't aware of what the place was like. And if they were thinking of it, they were probably just thinking of Lucin itself. Quiet, empty, not much can go wrong. So Dylan will be fine there. Maybe that's where everything went wrong, right? Although you could argue the people of Montello, or Montello itself, isn't responsible for Dylan's disappearance. Maybe the odd individual or two that were once from Montello, let's just say, transitioned into Lucin, and then was the problem. You get what I'm saying? Like an external third party, maybe. An export in a sense. Right, yeah. Okay. Like the way I see it, okay, Candice Cooley, maybe Justin Rounds, what about Larry Rounds? If he's owning land in the area, wouldn't he know better about the place? That's the problem. It's probably all knowledge, any focus, any research, if there was any put into it, any effort, would have been on Lucin itself, because that's specifically where Dylan is going to, right? This is where you're temporarily living. And I say temporarily, it could be a day or two, a little bit longer. This is where you're farming. This is the conditions. This is the environment. It's not so much on, oh, Dylan's moving into Montello. Let's check out the neighborhood. Let's check the crime rate. You get what I'm saying? I feel, and we can do a poll shortly, I feel if Dylan, for whatever reason, was moving into Montello to actually live there by himself, then maybe, possibly, Candice Cooley, Justin, or someone else in the family might have done some kind of research of the area beforehand. Maybe there might have been more, I guess, reluctant to let Dylan go there. Do you get what I'm saying? You think that's a possibility? We'll do a poll right now. Apologies if there's a lot. Do you think if Dylan was to move into Montello, like live there, to specifically farm in that area instead of Lucin, do you think Candice Cooley, the family, the parents would have researched into the area before allowing him to go down there? Or do you think it would have been the same exact result as it was with going to Lucin? Leave your thoughts. And to tie in with that next point, with all the events that have gone on in Montello or the outer skirts, was Dylan even aware of those events, whether it be going to Saddle Sore Bar? I mean, I don't think we can go into Saddle Sore Bar. Let's just try it quickly, because I do prefer to talk with images, right? Montello, Nevada. Actually, there should be photos, right? No? I mean, we have seen some of these before. There you go, you got the bar there, whoever that is. That guy either being arrested or possessed by a demon or arrested, I'm not quite sure. Does any of the locals know who he is? I don't know. We've got Saddle Sore Bar there. Let's just use that as a talking point as we go along, okay? So, like, originally we were focused on the bar, Dylan being there on the 26th, 27th, maybe talking about money or something like that. People overheard you got ambushed. That seems very unlikely now. But what about through the years, right? 2020, 2021, when Dylan came down here, like, was there never any talks about, oh, did you hear about that event? That just went on recently. Like, Dylan may have not have been directly in the area at the time the events occurred, but you might have heard about the stories afterwards, because if you're in a small community, the word gets about, stories get about, right? It spreads quick. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows who is who in the area, I guess. When you go into these bars, these pubs, people tell stories, look back on, reflect on things and events. If someone like Dylan comes by and visits regularly, won't Dylan hear about all the gossip, right? Or if Dylan's just hanging out with Kurt, wouldn't Kurt tell Dylan all the wild stuff that's going on, whether it be true, exaggerated, or whatever? Like, you'd think Dylan would know how, well, you can't say how bad the area is, because that could be counted by people that are actually from there that say it's actually okay. But I think we'll just have to do it as a poll. I mean, it's the only way around it. Do you think that Dylan was aware of all the wild things and all the different crimes going on in the area? And do you think it put him off, or it didn't bother him? I mean, you can contest it if you want, but from what Lance said about Dylan being a regular in the area almost every day in the morning, whether that's true or not, if it was true, it didn't seem to put Dylan off, did it? Right? The only other thing is, if anyone's in the chat right now, when it comes to this place, this area, okay, Montello, as for all the crime that's occurred, the people that have been impacted, affected negatively through burglary, physical altercations, injuries, whatever it may be, tends to be the locals of Montello, right, if bad stuff has happened. What about people just passing by, visitors, people who are not from there, but are just visiting temporarily, or just simply filling up gas and then going on elsewhere? What's the crime rate? What's the list of incident reports around those people? Like, if you're an outsider, are you, have you got, how do I word this? My God. As an outsider, are the chances higher of some criminal activity coming your way than a local? Hopefully there are people in the chat that can maybe answer that, right? It's just like a little point, because you think about it, Dylan kind of was an outsider, because Dylan was in Lucin, right? He wasn't brought up in Montello, not directly a local, right? You look at Lance and Kimber, not directly a local in Montello, right? But then again, although Ty is within Montello, Ty said 32 years spent in Montello, so I assume that before that he was elsewhere, living elsewhere. So it might be one of those things where you might get outsiders or people that move into the place for the first time and they're a regular, because that's where they now live. Well, they spend quite a bit of time there, so to settle in, people know who is who, and some like level of respect kicks in too, right? And maybe with Dylan kind of being an outsider because he's not brought up in Montello, because he visits regularly, people will know him or may know him to an extent. Just trying to establish a pattern. But as for the one-off visits, first time impressions, you get the wrong impression of someone in Montello, come across the wrong person at the wrong time whilst you're passing through because something bad happened to you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not quite sure myself personally. I mean, when you look at the crime statistics, not everything is reported. What's talked about isn't in reports at times. I mean, when you think about all the crime, all the unreported crime for whatever reason, I wonder truly how much of that is unreported and what else has not been talked about within Montello and outer skirts. Yeah. You get what I'm saying though, don't you? It's just because, like, if it was like outsiders, first time impressions, more likely to be caught up in issues. But then again, you know, the longer you stick around, the more you may see, right? The higher the chances of that in its own right. So maybe it doesn't matter being an outsider. Someone like Dylan is kind of both an outsider from location and distance, but also being a regular. So you get caught up, wrong place, wrong time, or you see something you're not supposed to. That could play a factor in itself. But yeah, that's what I just really wanted to talk about as for the Montello area, because it's the place where Dylan visited, right? And it was just like, wow, you look at that spreadsheet, a lot of events, a lot of negative stuff going on, spread out with time. And there'll be positives as well going on with like the parades, what you get every year or so? So there is some positivity, but I'm just wondering, was Dylan aware of what was going on and what has gone on or not? That's what I'm interested in. I mean, even if he was aware, it didn't seem like it impacted him really, did it? He still got on with things and, you know, visited. It didn't seem to impact that much. Now, let's look at the next area to talk about, to question once again, if I can find it on the spot. Yep. There we go. Boom. Eagle Vision right there. So as we know, this is Brenner's trailer from 2019 when he was living here. That's his truck, right? So the truck is no longer there. The trailer burnt down, right, as we know. Lance has visited since and been looking about, looking at the shovels, the the surrounding grounds, the track marks, the blue rope in the tree, the evidence tape nearby, bits of cardboard, some patches, areas where sticks have been put in, and a white flag, such as like a little crime scene or little search by the police. That all makes sense. The point and question I put forwards is, with what Lance is doing, what's he trying to do? Is he trying to look for evidence which might have been missed by the police? Yes? No? Is Lance trying to check back to see if there's been any new activity by someone else in recent time? Yes? No? I mean, if that was the case and you were documenting it, but you knew it was by the police, then is there really a point if you've already been earlier? I'm just trying to understand because, well, I don't know, because there's other things going on. I thought Lance was like more focused on going to Lucin, where he was going to start going through all the mines and mine shafts. Did that happen or not, or is it just not possible because of the snow? But then again, when I looked at Lance's video recently, which I assume is recent, there was no snow in the area. So what about Lucin? Is that okay now? Has the snow melted, eased off? Because it looks like it. So where's Lance at right now as for exploration? Like, is he still going to go to Lucin to look at the other mines and mine shafts, or was that a short-term plan which has backfired? I don't know. I'm only just basing it off observations from what I've seen on the channel, and that's all. But as for Brenner's burnt down trailer here, right? Okay. You see some crime scene tape, right? You see some poles or stuff stuck into the ground. It's like, okay, why are we here though? Is it to document what's gone on previously? Or is it because one feels like there could still be something else there? Like, when the police searched, was it Elko County and maybe Boxelder County Sheriff's Office, they had the dogs with them, maybe the horse, the ATVs, the radar or the penetrating equipment, and they found nothing. That's how it was worded at the time. They found nothing, and that was it. Maybe secretly they might have found something, but publicly didn't really say anything. And even by Candice Cooley afterwards, even she said they found nothing. And that was it, very quiet, right? Is that it? Case closed? We'll do a poll right now. Apologies for yet another fast one. Do you believe that the investigation at Brenner's burnt down trailer yielded no results, or are they hiding something? But they did find evidence. Feel free to vote. It wouldn't be a surprise if they did find something, but they didn't want to say anything. But then it makes you think, then why would they loose about information previous of other areas? And why did Candice Cooley reveal that but not reveal anything about the burnt down trailer, right? Because it was afterwards when Candice Cooley started blabbing her mouth. So if she's been patient all that time, she could have revealed something about the burnt down trailer too, and yet she didn't. So obviously she didn't know either from the looks of it. But yeah. The next point what I want to move on to is, if it just so happened that there was activity in this area with footprints or track marks and it wasn't by police, Ty did document in his video, not Ty, apologies about that, Lance ended up documenting, from 7 days ago when he visited. It's like track marks, like a vehicle stuck in the mud or was stuck in the mud and a rock moved. Okay. You know, is that being like presented as possibly recent, or have you only just come across it, which was probably from way back then, months ago during the police investigation? Which one is it? I'm not quite sure. If we're basing it off the possibility that maybe, just maybe, someone else has been there since post police investigation, or even before that, because there was actual track marks before that, okay, that actually happened. What's the actual purpose and reason to why someone would come down here, right, when they could have done a year before that? Why only now? Is this some kind of beacon hotspot for people to come down, explore for themselves? Or is it people that might be in on it, involved in the case, and feel worried or threatened that this might be the area where Dylan could be at, or something to do with Dylan could be at? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on this area? The only other thing I saw in Ty's video, why do I keep saying Ty for me? Hold on a second. There we go. So, the only other thing I noticed in Lance's video, okay, was they found like a gun or some kind of pellet gun, BB gun, how it was worded, right? And it was just like propped up, kind of buried into the ground but propped up, which is a bit odd. Why do you need a pellet gun? Is it like for hunting? As for a BB gun, we talk about airsoft, I don't think that's really going to do the job. That's just more for like playing about, really, unless it's an air gun which can use sharp objects, maybe. But yeah, it feels like this is like some kind of hotspot to always refer back to because it was once in possession of Brenner. The association that maybe because it's a familiar area to Brenner, so it could have been brought back. But because the police didn't find anything, and even if they did, they took it away, then why do you need to continue searching in the area? I mean, the idea of going back once or twice makes sense, but then keep going back, is it really going to do anything? Okay, is it just going around in circles? Just talking in an efficient way and just a simple observation, okay? If you do think different, or if you think there's a higher importance to being in this area, feel free to note it down below, okay? So I think that was fairly deep, considering it was looking back at places already talked about and analysed, yet there was still unfinished business. And that's like a key word I've used a few times now when it comes to talking points and environments, unfinished business. And as a whole, the case, obviously there is unfinished business, but you think outside of the box too. You know what I'm saying? You got any additional thoughts, questions, any other points to make note of, feel free to do so down below. We're not finished yet. Now, whether it be from yesterday or even right now in the live chat, are there any cat fights? If there's any resistance, if there's any rats, whatever it may be, it can be dealt with. And it can be done in a calm, nice way, okay? So we are going to go back to the maps, but we're going to start looking at some places, okay? And, okay, you got burger places, you got ice cream places, you got motels, and yeah, I do understand motels have been kind of like forgotten about, neglected. We'll have to look back at them, make sure we don't look at the same ones. It can get hard to remember what's been done and what hasn't. But in the meantime, it's probably time to go to a spa, if that even exists in the US. So I found some of them. They already do pop up. Fair few. Whoa. Zoom in a bit, why don't you? Yeah. Which one? Which spa do the cats want to go to? I'm not sure. How many are there? Premier Day Spa and Salon, Spa at Sundance, Zermatt, Utah Resort and Spa, Spa, Montage, Deer Valley, that sounds a bit dodgy, The Cliff Spa, Sego, Lily Spa, The Grand Spa, Basalt Day Spa, woohoo. Okay, I guess we'll do it in a certain order. I don't know how many we're going to go through, probably just like one or two. Oh my god, it's like too close together. What the hell? Let's do the Basalt Day Spa, okay? So For all the cats that might have sore paws, they can be treated here, I'm sure. There you go. Dedicated to wellness. Now, that bed looks a little bit uncomfortable. What the hell are them? Oh my god. Are they supposed to be coat hangers or knobs you're supposed to grip onto? Is it a rock wall? Or is it the stones that get put on your back? I don't know. It looks a bit weird. Very empty as well. My god. That dodgy stool. And a weird wooden mirror, and you got some like bushy stuff there. Wait, isn't that the stuff what they pull out and then start whipping you with when you're exposed? I'm sure. Actually, how would I know? Oh, scrap that. Okay, that person is getting ready. It'll be like, please, lean back, lie down, unsheath yourself. It is now time to relax. Oh god, all the creams are there. That's a lot of cream. Is it moisturizer? I don't know. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff there, right? I guess like the massage. Oh my god. Oh no. My god. This is supposed to be relaxing, man. Are any of the cats in the chat relaxed right now, or is it kind of tense? Yeah. Need to get more familiar with the area, I guess. It is like new territory. Not been in one of these before. Not as in these videos. Pretty little flowers. I just need to attune my voice so I'm in sync with the place. Or as close as I can. Okay, no, I don't care about furniture. Oh my god, even in a spa, they've got a chair right in the corner of the room. What is this weird obsession? Okay. It looks more like a motel, that, to be honest. Special herbs. I don't know, magic herbs. You know. The mushrooms have gone missing. I think Wes has eaten them all. Hey, what's that? Whoa, employee only. Oh, what's down that staircase, Is it some kind of private sessions going on? Oh no. Private massage sessions. No. Oh god. I bet Ellenberg is just completely breathless or confused. Both, maybe. I don't blame you. Okay, great. So we've got like some shit abstract art, which could be worth $5 million of some pebbles and stones. That's it. My god. Should have knew it all along, Stoney. Fucking hell. You're making your way into every avenue, aren't you? My god. Were you wearing your glasses when you were trying to attempt to paint this pretty little photo or something? Because the rocks are wonky, man. They're not even stable. They're all over the place. My god, Stoney. Is that a visual interpretation and symbolism of you and your personality? My god, it's really deep, Stoney. We can see so much into your soul, your perspective on life. It's outstanding, man. Really great, you know. Even I have a hard time trying to interpret it because it's so deep and rich with data. There's a lot to be analyzed from it. Wow, just amazing. And to be honest, if we depict Stoney doing this abstract art, you look at the stones themselves, although slightly wonky, they remain balanced. They're on top of each other. Maybe it's a symbolism of life, stepping stones, progressing onwards, moving on to better and higher things, such as my channel. Yeah, you're now here. Welcome. You won't be leaving. No. As long as you agree with everything I say, you will not be booted off. Don't worry, man. It's great. Wow. We're getting so much from this, okay? I wouldn't say it's been relaxing yet. It's been far from it. What the fuck is this? Is it Is this like a DIY spa? Do it yourself. Oh, you want to massage yourself? Do it yourself now. Okay, easy. Calm down, Wes. I wasn't literally saying it. You don't have to start performing it right now. Calm down. Wow. What am I even looking at? I don't even know. I don't even care about this. Oh, sorry. Wait, hold on. Is that, what do you call it? The lip stuff to put on your lips where it makes it moist, I guess. Wait, fuck. Isn't that the same one what Betty Hayward was using in those live stream videos of Jim Terry's? My God, Betty? My God, Betty? Are you aware another girl is using your lip balm? Are you going to stand for that, Betty? Come on, Betty. Betty? Come on. You cannot allow that, man. You cannot allow people to take your personal possessions. What next? You're just going to allow someone to pull that headband off and the hair comes off as well? God! That is unacceptable. Come on, girl. You go. Fucking activate on it. Oh my God, what's this? Crushed up. My God. Okay, Indiana. I know you said... What's this? The classroom situation. Indiana protesting. I'm not going to do 100 lines. Well, okay then. Better still. Get on your fucking knees now and shovel that salt up. Not with your nose. With a dustpan and brush. Can you do that, Indiana? Yeah? You going to do that? Good. I mean, who decides to spill all that bloody salt anyway? Idiot. Okay? Salty. Oh, for fuck's sake. Always making a reference. Not my fault. Oh. Okay, then. What's this all about? Is that a crystal or just a stone rock? Some cream, Dermalogica, whatever that is. Maybe some oil as well. It's a bit wet and slippery. I don't know what the fuck this is. Someone's been unrobed. Can you please put it back on? I don't want the next photo to reveal something. What's this? Angle. Live your angle. What if my life doesn't reach a point? What am I supposed to do? I cannot reach an angle or a triangle. The hell's that? Oh my God. You probably could find better jewelry in fucking Mojave Desert. What is that? Trash? That's so shit. Okay. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a spa. Yeah, spa this, spa that, relax. Yeah, no, it's just all about the alcohol, isn't it? Yeah. You know what? You girls need to fucking learn a lesson from Linda Cushing. Linda Cushing has the resistance and mentality of a strong horse. I don't know, I couldn't think of any other comparisons. My God, marching on with the stamina to resist against all kinds of dark forces in this world. You need to take some tips. When's Linda holding her next class? I'm spazzing with my mouth. What's this? Glow, refined benefit, lemon bath soak. Oh my God, we got a lemon body scrub. Yeah, scrub-a-dub-dub, rub it really good. Yeah. Please. Want to be scented with lemon. Yeah. Limonada. Gracias. Let's move on. Oh yeah, come on, this is what I mean. Where was the hands-on stuff to begin with? About time. How many? We're running out of photos. Oh, who's this? Gregory Jasp. Oh no, calm down, people in the chat. I bet you're already thinking, oh my God, where's Gregory's phone number? I think I need to make an appointment with him. Oh my God, Stoney, don't go first. I've got first-time access. Just back off in the line. You know, you're not higher up on the food chain. There's other people with higher needs and priorities, man. God, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm very slow with my mind because I've just remembered. There's no point even trying to make appointments or bookings. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, kitty cats. Okay, kitty cats, I don't think you can make any appointments with Gregory at this moment in time, not even for the foreseeable few months, because it's already been booked out for the entire month or two by fucking Joseph. Oh my God, Joseph. You know, what do you need? You know, some kind of like full body reconstruction or something by Gregory. Oh, Joseph. You know, Joseph lying down on that fucking bed or something with these like weird instruments being inserted or I don't know, getting the stones and bashing him or something. And then all the cream, oh God. Normal oily skin kit. You want to oil up? Yeah? Well, that does the job, I guess. I don't care about the outside of the building. Oh my God. That was shit. We need to go to a bit more of a higher end place. Yeah. Long time no see. Come to this massage parlor. You'll have good time and a long time as well. You'll have very fun experience. You will never forget. You will be physically and mentally scarred by my deep tissue massage. I'm sure you will enjoy every moment. Please, can you turn on over so I can get my fucking knee and ram it into your back? Yes, I'm trying to reposition you. Don't worry. Don't resist. Be fine. No need to worry. Calm down. My God. Crazy. I mean, first of all, I think Famous Up is going to be disappointed. There's no food around, okay? No food, right? So, turn of events, I guess, this time round. Oh, for God's sake. Bloody alcohol, always making it into the shot. Yeah, we got towels. Don't worry, Missy. Yeah, Missy, the towels are present. And not just any towels. Deep, soft, pure white towels. Very soft. Covers enough surface area. Okay? And if there's any trouble where excess oil is spilled, those towels can mop it up. Exactly. But to be honest, man, fucking hell, if Weedleby comes down to the spa, you might as well join those two beds up together, man. God. Wow. So moving on, you got the outside part, meh. Then you got a pool, meh. Then you got in here, oh my God, what the hell are them? Oh my God, you got purple towels, you got some little bears, and you got a fucking elephant and a monkey. Oh no. Oh my God, this is what we had to resort to? A fucking... Okay, right. Little backstory. When it's come to all the zoos in fucking Utah, it's been camel after camel after camel. Stero monkeys. Monkeys. Okay? I've not seen any. And the only monkey I've come across is a toy monkey. Oh my God. And even an elephant with little purple towels. Little purple bear Cleo. You're missing out on this collection from Utah. Oh my God, what's going on here? Right, very... Okay. Even towels as well. Okay. The fuck? Okay, spying on people. Some furry chairs. Got some Linda cushions. Gushing cushions. Okay. What the hell's this? Shit photography. My God, I don't even know what the place is anymore. Oh my God, we got the crystals and apples. Yeah, that's definitely a perfect combination. Huh? Yeah. Digital detox. Oh my God, I'm such a naughty little boy. I'm such a little hypocrite. Here's me, acting like a complete slut. And I'm in a spa, all about detox. I'm directly holding a tripod and a camera while doing a live video premiere. Oh my God. I think I've been misbehaving. I need punishing. Yeah? Who's going to step up for that? He's going to step up in the chat to punish Warlike Raph. Huh? Who? I'm waiting. But aside from that, in the meantime, you might as well munch on these apples. So it tells me those apples are not real. They're as fake as my... I don't know how to end that sentence. But you get the idea. And what the hell? With that crystal, why is there a tap head on it? Why do you need a tap? What are you going to do? Drain all the water out? What the fucking point is that? What a stupid display. What are you doing? My God. I don't even know what's going on, man. I'm just fucking malfunctioning with chandeliers. God. It's been more relaxing in a motel where cats piss on the ground and the person's not wearing any fucking trousers on in the mirror. That was more relaxing than fucking this place. God, I'm disgusted by it. You want to see more? Yeah, you want to see more spas? Fucking vote right now in the live premiere. No, that's no point. People will be thinking, what the hell is this? No, we ain't gonna be doing that. No way. We got a Hoggle Zoo. No, fuck, we've already seen that place. My God, is there anywhere we've not seen? God! What, Lily Spar? What the hell's that? My God, what's this? A one-on-one psychologist meeting? Yeah, I'd like to infer my problems, what I have. Yeah, can you please note them down? Fuck off. I think we might return to that at some point very quickly. I mean, it's just easier typing in Utah Burger King, right? Choose the easy way out. My God, why are they not coming up? There we go. Oh my God, there's so many. Which ones have we been to? Which ones haven't we? Oh God, I don't know. I don't know, man. They all look the same to me. Have we been there? Doesn't look like it, does it? No. This is all new to me. Unlike those default. Oh my God, what's going on here? Oh my God. What the hell's that? Is that a TV screen? What? Oh my God. I wondered when we were going to come across this crime scene. Fucking caught red-handed, man. The buns are wet. The meat, shit. The most important thing what we can take from some of these images now, with Ellen Berg being present, right? Okay? Ellen Berg can view all these photos and she can shake her head and say, that ain't how y'all make a burger, man. I'm the best one that can do it. I get the job done. Something like that. Actually, it probably doesn't even sound like that, but you get the idea. Learn lessons. Not Ellen, but the other people. Okay, look at that fucking burger. Fucking raw. Shit. Hey, what the hell? No cheese. Just a bit of meat. Fucking hell. What's this? Allergy alert. Dear customer, please be advised that any of our products may now contain peanut. So, if there's anyone in the chat that are allergic to nuts, then you just have to see cover alternatives, right? I'm sure that's possible. New cookies, M&Ms. Whoa, that's really good. What's that? I can't read it. Nope. Get your orders in right now. You better be quick. What the hell's that, a dodgy photo? When you take a photo of the ground, I don't care. I don't care about that. Nope. Oh, what's that? Cheesy tots, tits, tots. Shit. Slip of the tongue then. I mean, that's the first decent photo of a burger from Burger King's. It's crazy. All the time it looks like it's been half eaten, spat out, fiddled about, whatever, right? But this time, it's been undisturbed. It's a miracle, okay? Who was that? Was it Indiana? Was it, who was it who was saying about the Dylan Brown's case? It would be a fucking miracle if this happens. Well, guess what? Miracles are true. Miracles can happen because a miracle has happened here, which we never thought would never happen again. Okay, yeah, take a photo of the lights, great. Oh my God, hang on a minute. Let me just zoom in a second. Yeah, the angle of the photo. Weedleby. I know this is you taking the photo. One hand on the wheel, one hand elsewhere, and the other hand holding the phone. Oh my God. That actually looks appetizing. My God, this man is on the roll. Fucking Cody. Yo, Cody. Cody Dean. Yeah, CD has the key to finding out this mystery without Brookie or Rafi, because he's got all the photos by himself. He's a one-man army, one-man band. He doesn't need to hold hands with no one. He can do what he can. He can rhyme in time, take photos however he takes. Fucking photography expert, man. Yeah. Little pickle gherkins. That looks reasonable. I think we're witnessing a miracle, right? I mean, we put everything into perspective in life. You've got spas, which don't deliver, even with the massages, and then you've got Burger Kings, which all of a sudden do deliver with appetising photos. Until now. For fuck's sake, why did I say that? Oh my God. What's that? My God, is this something you, Maria, would order? Because it looks fucking healthy. My God. What is this? Disgusting. If I was given that, like, Maria, if you handed this over to me, I'd kick it into the bin, okay? No offence, but it looks shit, okay? Probably get whacked over the head shortly for saying that, but yeah. I mean, where's the fucking meat? I want the meat in my mouth. Actually, maybe not. Oh, God, that's out of context, that. See, this is what I mean. The amount of dodgy stuff I've said, people could be begging on their knees, saying, thank you, All Right Ref, for giving me weird content to mismatch with audio, such as you, Weedleby. My God, you're sitting on a bunker of hidden treasure, right? All these words, all these sayings, you extract the audio and just think what you could create. Of course, man, unless someone else does it before her. God, I wonder who else is doing edits. Yeah. Oh, sorry, was that somebody else then? Betty Hayward. You trying to do some edits? Secret classified edits, huh? Well, good luck. What's this? Boring. Oh, what the fuck is... Oh my God. What is that? Ugh. There's a, what do you call it? A dragonfly or a damselfly? There's an insect on some food. Oh, what is that? Oh my God. Yeah, Burger King's never fails to disappoint me. Man, you want some deep fried chicken or you want some kind of cheese on bread? Don't worry, it comes with a fucking insect wing to help you fly. No Red Bull intended or needed, man. Look at that. Probably, I think they decided to add on the insect wing just for a bit of extra protein. Yeah, disgusting. Oh my God, from Utah Drifting. Come on, yeah. Okay, just random toilet there. Okay. Right. Ew. What are them? Who's that by? Michaela Young. You know what? I don't... What the... Oh my God, there's a hair in the food. Oh, there's a strand of hair. Whose hair's that? We had to try and break it down. It's black hair. So how many people in the chat right now have black hair? Indiana has black hair. Stoney, I think, has black hair. Betty Hayward has black hair. Cleopatra has black hair. I have black hair. Oh, shit. Anyone else? I'm not quite sure from memory. But yeah, Maria has black hair. So, you know, who is it? Who's leaving hairs about? Oh, God. And that one looks frozen. Oh, my God. This is disgusting. And, you know, it's not even filled up, the tube. It's a hollow hole. God. I think now at this point, I think we need to go to some kind of, I don't know, we need some kind of safety, man. Is there any, like, random on-the-spot places you can look at? Yeah, take me to the hospital right now. My God, I hope Bellavy's nowhere near. I don't want to be injected by her, man. Don't worry. You go to the hospital. If we can actually make it inside. Please, can I see the consultant? I don't need the orthopedics, sports medicine. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, don't worry. Wait, I don't even know where you're from, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. King Simone banger of Chinese chopsticks. Doesn't really matter. King Salmon, come here right now. If you ever have any, you know, if you dried up of resources, don't worry. You come down to the Utah Medical Department, fucking hospital. They sort you out with the orthopedics and sports medicine, or the TRT, HRT, ED, PDP, EDP, whatever you fucking call the drugs, LSD, LDS, Latter-day Saints of LDS. I don't care, man. Just get the whole lot and shove it into your system. Oh god, that doesn't sound quite right, but never mind. It's all in control. You got to confuse the mind, man. You don't confuse the mind will not function properly. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Get those bloody back emojis going right now. Oh my god, we got a TV screen the wrong way. Oh no, why would you have the TV that way? Yeah, it's like another case of number 5. Reportedly, June 13th, 2013, there was CCTV footage that a TV screen was known to rotate in the middle of the night. We don't know why. We don't understand the purpose, but for whatever reason, maybe it's haunted by some kind of spirit. Maybe it could be Bellevue in the future. Maybe we'll find out someday. Next time, join us on Top 10 as we discuss and look at the never-ending mysteries of the headbands. Okay, got some fruit on the wall. It's caged off over there. Must be for the gorillas. Feeding time. Okay. Surgical and endoscopy centre. Enlargements, possibly. Maybe. I don't know. What's this? Laboratory. Cardiopulmonary, respiratory and cardiac procedures. Oh my god, call me a Dr. Raff right now because I can pronounce all these high-end terms. I'm an expert in this field, man. Yeah. What the hell's that? Oh no, is that some kind of... Oh god. Yeah, take a picture of a car, why don't you? Rio, good for you. Is that your car? Oh my god, we got a Christmas tree. You're a bit too late, bitch. We got the burrito. Oh, it says bistro. Oops. I said it wrong. But you might turn up for that. Okay. Looks like no presents have been delivered. Must be bad news now. What the hell's that? Okay, so, oh yes, what's that? Oh my god. Oh no, don't tell me you're supposed to stand on that and it gives you the weight reading. My god, Wheelby, if you stand on that, you're gonna break the whole fucking system. God, the whole system, the whole, I don't even know because I'm not even an electrician, but I think the whole power line will go down in the whole area, Wheelby. You gotta be careful, man. You're just gonna destroy the whole infrastructure. You really want that, man? God, that'd be terrible. You know, the whole infrastructure goes down, Wheelby. The lights go off, the equipment, the electronics turn off. You got fucking Wes next door with a fucking bedpost rammed up his ass from Indiana. He can't even sit down. He's got to lay face down. He's got to have a procedure to have it pulled out. How can it be pulled out in the dark, man? You don't know what you'll be pulling on. And that'd get very awkward quickly, man. God. You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if Betty Haywood shows up next saying... Sorry, you know, I like bad boys, but the bad boy decided to pull the headband a little too hard and decided to kind of choke me in a appropriate way, but I can't get the headband off. It's tugging on my hair. I'm in great pain and distress. Can you please fix me? Maybe not at this place. Gastroenterology. Oh God, I think we turned up at the wrong place. Extraordinary ideas drive extraordinary care. ABCD. Okay. What's this? Well, first of all, aside from extraordinary ideas, this monitor is the complete opposite of extraordinary, more disappointing. Fucking Dell, you bell end. Get a better upgraded monitor right now. Not even fucking 60 hertz, it's probably 25 hertz. Useless. The Intermountain Foundry gives you tools and guidance to advance your innovative ideas. To learn more and submit your idea. You know, I've got an idea, okay? You know what my idea is? You start introducing more TRT supplements into your place. You also contact the supplier Gorilla Jack for the Gorilla Jack nutrients, which are in Ontario, Canada. You import them into this hospital and you get people sorted. You get the gear and people will fix their rears. Yeah? And you know what? I thought of another idea, okay? Another key idea, and it can help generate the hospital more money in this place of Utah. Contact Stoney. She said she's got healing powers. If you give her $5, she'll twitch her nose and it'll fix your hemorrhoids. So, you know, this medical place needs to hire Stoney right now, and then Stoney keeps twitching her nose, earns money at the same time, and heals people's backside. I mean, isn't it a win-win for everyone? There you go. See, I've generated some very groundbreaking ideas on the spot. And I think with that in mind, there's not really much else more we can do at this moment, because I think we've exceeded the potential, right? Unless, I mean, how you spell it? Hayward. Dr. Nathaniel Hayward. Hayward Farms. Yeah. Yeah. Hayward Farms. My God, Betty, you growing sweet corn? I should say corn on the cob. You don't even have a fucking American side of fucking corn. I'm really mad, mate. All fucking yellow at the end of the day, it all end up in your goddamn mouth. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, we got some little pears. Yeah, greeneries. Maria, this is heaven for you, right? Isn't it? Oh my God, is that Betty Hayward on the tractor? Nope, it's not. It's someone else. But what the hell's that hat? It's like a wizard. Oh my God. Oh, the goats. Oh, as Ty Corbin said, Warlike Raft, the goat herder. I think that's what he meant. Some new plants growing. Oh my God, Betty Hayward Farms are very busy right now with the green beans. My God, Maria, come on. You can have some green beans. And all the hay. Nay. And little pumpkins. Oh my God, little pumpkin picking. I don't even know what to say. Look at that. Wow. We got some peaches. Yeah, you want to do a little peach emoji? Oh my God, you're such a naughty individual. God. Keep it in. Okay. Hello. Why does that look like he's got like lipstick on and eyeliner? What the fuck? Wow. Oh no. I was going to say something else, but I'm not. Hey, look at the pumpkins. Oh my God. Careful, hold on to that pumpkin. Oh yeah, look at that guy holding it with one hand. Yeah, they've got experience, man. They know how to handle a big pumpkin. Oh my God, we got the honey. Got the fresh honey. All natural Utah. Something to buzz about. Only for kids 1 year and older. Oh, okay. Hayward's honey. Yes, Betty. Come on. Advertise your honey right now. Yeah. Get off the screen, man. Oh my God, it's in the shape of a bear as well. Oh my God, Betty. You cute little bear. That's really, really nice. Wow. Got some more bits and bobs there. They look a little bit prickly, though. And then bumpy as well. Oh my God. Bit on the rough side. And last but not least, we got the tractor itself. Is it John Deere? I don't know. But there we go. I've been done a full circle today. So it's getting quite dark now, I'd say. Yeah. Let me know what your thoughts are within the Dylan Rounds case and this discussion today. If you've picked up on anything new, if you've started questioning things or are looking down a different avenue, a different pathway, feel free to list it down below. Okay. And anything else if you want to talk about, feel free to do so. I think that's it for now. I think we've covered a fair bit. It's been somewhat deep and we'll leave it there. If you want to see more spas or alternative places, feel free to list it down below. If King Salmon is present right now, make sure to list places of like areas you want to look at on the maps, okay, the dodgy stuff, okay? I did do a post recently, a community one, but you didn't respond back. Maybe you didn't see it, so hopefully you see this and answer. And yeah, I think that's it for me. I think this guy over here, okay, he's still asleep. Okay. And speaking of sleep, the vampire needs sleep himself, okay?
I ain't scared of you. I would never fucking be scared of you, dude. If you was in fucking front of me, I would fucking slap the fucking freckles off your goddamn face.